Hello and welcome to Everything You Need to Know about HSG282. My name is Nick Lamond and I, as you can see, work for Hanna Instruments. And we've put this webinar together because we get asked a lot by our hot tub and pool customers as to what is this HSG282 they've heard about. Does it impact them? Do they have to do the things that are written there? And we just thought maybe a little webinar to give you some background would be useful. So today we're going to be covering what it is and the why, who and how. So why does it exist? Who does it affect? And how do you comply? We're going to do, and I promise, a brief review of the products that we supply the pool industry, and at the end I'll take any questions that anyone has and I'll do my best to answer them within this webinar. So without further ado, what is HSG282? It's a set of guidelines which were written up by the Health and Safety Executive, and they're there to protect users of hot tubs and spa pools against disease, to improve health and safety, and to provide safe facilities. Who does it apply to? This is probably the big question we get asked, and it really applies to anybody who provides a hot tub or a spa pool for the use of paying customers or guests. So if you have a hotel with a health spa or pool, or if you have a series of holiday lodges where you're providing a hot tub or a shared hot tub, or even an Airbnb, a single cottage where you've provided a hot tub, then really you need to make yourself aware of HSG282 and the impact on you and your customers and your business. So why should you comply? Well, it helps protect, as I've already mentioned, customers, employees, business and reputation. So your customers are obviously going to be using the hot tub, so if the hot tub water is safe to get in and bathe in, then obviously complying with HSG282 makes quite a difference there. Your employees, if you employ anyone to maintain or empty that hot tub, they'll come into contact with the water, so they will be protected. Your business and reputation, obviously nobody wants a bad TripAdvisor review, so complying with HSG282 sort of provides peace of mind, I guess, is how we would explain it. You'll know your customers are safe, you'll know your employees are safe, you'll know your business and your reputation are safeguarded too. So they're there to prevent all of the nasty things that can grow in hot tub water. So Legionella, E. coli, microbacteria, and then a couple of the things that I can't pronounce, but they're on the slide there for you. They're all there in hot tub water unless we're filtering it and dosing it and keeping an eye on it. So that's what HSG282 was written up to prevent. What if you don't comply? This is one of the questions we get asked quite a lot. It's not a legal requirement, but you probably have to put it on its head and say, well, why wouldn't you comply? By complying, you prevent customer illness. By complying, you protect your employees. By complying, you safeguard against reputational loss for your business and any potential legal action that might result from someone falling ill after they've been using your hot tub. So you don't have to comply by any means, but the guidelines are there for a reason, and it's good to be aware of them and to take steps to ensure that the hot tub that you're providing for your guests is safe to use. So the things they cover are water capacity, sanitation, maintenance, and then testing and any chemical adjustments that you might need to make. In terms of the water capacity, you'll find most hot tubs do this, so it's not something to worry about, it's something to be aware of. So the guidelines say you really should have at least 250 litres of water per person who's using that hot tub. So if you had a 4-person hot tub, and hopefully we're not testing my maths too much, then you need a minimum of 1,000 litres of water for that. And the other thing that is recommended is that the water is filtered, and that is all of the water in the hot tub is passed through the filter within a 15-minute period. Again, you'll find most hot tubs do this. Just look at the handbook that you have when you purchase your hot tub, and it should provide these 2 bits of information for you. Sanitation is a critical part of maintaining a hot tub. And the guidelines really would prefer that there was a built-in sanitation system and that you weren't just manually dosing it. So built-in is recommended. Um, Also, be aware of the risks with air blowers and waterfalls and fountain features, because although they're nice and pretty and customers do like them, they add to the risk of using that hot tub, because the pipework that's used for that waterfall or that fountain feature might not be switched on the whole time, and therefore the water that's trapped in that pipework is not necessarily being dragged through your filtration system, and therefore is a potential hotspot for Legionnaire or other bugs to grow. And also, air blowers agitate the water and turn it into water droplets, and if there were Legionella present in that hot tub water, it's a means to breathe in the water droplets containing that Legionella. So that's just an additional risk to be aware of. That's all I'm trying to make there. And the other guideline is that you should really not switch off your hot tub. So you want to keep that filtration running 24 hours a day, even when it's not being used. So those are the guidelines regarding sanitation. And then the other guidelines are that you should measure your pH twice a day and keep a record of that pH. The guideline says 5 years, so up to you, but the guideline is 5 years. Most of our customers would certainly keep the pH record log for at least the duration of the holiday season, and if they're open for 12 months of the year, then a minimum of a year. The guidelines say 5. You can keep the record in an Excel spreadsheet, so it's not like you have reams of paper. So just bear in mind that's the recommendation. The guideline also recommends chemical dosing to maintain correct sanitizer levels. It recommends that you change the entirety of the water in your hot tub when you have a changeover of guests. So that would mean draining it down, giving it a clean, and refilling with clean water and checking the chemical levels before you allow the next set of guests into that hot tub. It recommends regular system flushes, and it also recommends regular pathogen testing. Regular could be monthly or quarterly. It's not strictly defined. It's very much based on bather load and usage of that hot tub, but it's something that's recommended. I would say quarterly would make sense to me. Some people certainly do it monthly. As I say, it depends on how much that hot tub is being used as to how often you feel would be regular. What do you need to do to comply in addition to all those things? The guideline is that you should have a schematic diagram. That is already supplied with your hot tub, so if you've got your hot tub manual, you will have a schematic diagram just showing you where all the pipes and the pumps are. It recommends that you should have pH testing equipment. If you're going to have automatic dosing, then you obviously need chemical dosing equipment. If you're going to do it manually, then you don't. And then it also recommends that you have access to chemical and microbiological testing equipment. That just means an outside lab. If you don't have to do it yourself. If you had many hot tubs in a holiday park, you might invest in the additional equipment to save the costs of sending things away for testing. And then probably the question we get asked a lot is, okay, it says I need to test my pH twice a day, so why is pH so critical? Well, it impacts hugely on the effectiveness of the sanitizer you have in the water of your hot tub, and also affects the operational life of your hot tub and the components within it. So if the pH is too low, as in it's acidic, aside from the skin irritation it can cause to your guests and customers, that in turn reduces the effectiveness of any chlorine that you have in that hot tub. Equally, if it's too high, again you can get skin irritation, but also it reduces the effectiveness of the chlorine or the other sanitizer you have in your hot tub. So by getting your pH absolutely spot on, you will use less sanitizer. So it saves you money in the actual chemical that you're putting into your pool or hot tub, as well as provides a nicer environment for your customers and for their skin. And the other benefit in terms of money is it prolongs the operational life of your hot tub, because if your hot tub is running with a high acid content, the acid is eating your pump and any other stainless steel components you've got within the hot tub. And if the pH has gone too high, you can get like a calcium deposit, so you get like a sandpaper finish to the inside of your hot tub, which is really unpleasant to get into, and you get calcium deposits within the pumps and mechanisms which shorten their life. So a couple of reasons there. What is the ideal pH? We recommend between 7.2 and 7.4 pH for a hot tub or a spa pool. And because we do manufacture and supply products, this is our little piece where we talk very, very briefly about what's available from us. We provide digital readout equipment for pH, such as the pool tester you can see there, the 981074. And then if you want to measure things like chlorine, bromine, alkalinity, total chlorine and free chlorine, as well as the aforementioned pH and cyanuric acid, then we do a photometer which does all of those things. And if you're interested in maintaining the pH of your pool automatically, we provide an automatic dosing controller for that. And in addition to that, we do one that will do chlorine and pH. So that's as much as we want to advertise our products to you. The webinar is really to help you understand HSG282 and what it impacts you and your business, which I hope we have provided some information on. So that's really all it is from me. We are aware that no one wants to sit and listen to me talking or a webinar for too long, so we try and keep them quite short and to the point. It's really time for questions if you have any, so we'll go to ask formally. Do you have any questions about HSG282 or our products? Please ask in the chat feature, which I'm looking at bottom right now of my screen. Okay, I won't, due to GDPR, I'm not going to reveal who's asking all these questions. I'll just, if you've given me your first name, which indeed you have, Steve, I will just reply to Steve. So Steve did have a question about our pH tester, which I'll just go back to on this slide. So he wants to know, do you need to use any tablets or phenol red reagent with our pH tester? And the answer is no. So the Hanna pH tester, you literally turn it on, you dip it in the water, and you'll get a temperature readout of your water as well as the pH readout. And it's pretty instant. It's a few seconds before you start getting an accurate pH reading on your display, and you'll be watching the temperature ramp up during that reading. So no chemicals needed. You just turn on, dip in, and you get a pH reading. And they're very, very accurate. In fact, they're a lot more accurate than any other method using reagents or phenol red tablets. So I hope that answers your question, Steve. I'm just looking to see if we... Carol. So yes, Carol, I'm just looking at the same slide, the BL100 controller and dosing pump. What that does is you can fit it to a hot tub and it will automatically maintain the pH level in that hot tub. So even if you've just put a lot of chlorine in to your hot tub and chlorine will increase the pH of your hot tub, then our automatic controller will automatically detect that and reduce your pH back to the optimum level which you choose, but between 7.2 and 7.4. So if you have chosen 7.3 or if you've chosen 7.28, it will maintain the pH according to that for you. We also do one for chlorine where, again, if the bathers are getting in and the chlorine level just drops away, then instantly it will adjust the chlorine level as well as the pH to maintain the optimum water quality for bather load. So that's what those devices are for. And does anyone have any other questions? Okay, that's an interesting one from Paul. Thank you, Paul. Cyanuric acid, I did very briefly mention that was being tested by the 971044 photometer. And Paul has asked, what's Paul? Yes, Paul has asked, what is cyanuric acid? So When you buy a tablet, one of these combined chlorine tablets for your hot tub or your spa, it is chlorine combined with some other chemicals designed to keep the water clean. And one of the chemicals that is often added is cyanuric acid. And cyanuric acid is, I like to think of it as sunscreen for your chlorine. So chlorine is broken down very, very rapidly by the ultraviolet light in sunlight and becomes ineffective very, very quickly. So one of the ways that is used to protect the chlorine and make sure it's still available to use as a sanitizer is a little bit of cyanuric acid is added. Now, the problem with cyanuric acid is if the level gets too high, even though you've got loads of chlorine in that water, the chlorine is unable to kill any bugs. So one of the reasons people measure cyanuric acid is to make sure that the levels haven't got too high, and to make sure that although their chlorine meter is telling them there's chlorine in there, that they haven't put too much cyanuric acid in by accident. And it is something we do see. We do see people phoning up and they go, my pH level is absolutely spot on, my chlorine is where I want it to be, it's there should be loads of chlorine in there, but my hot tub has gone green, so what's happened? And usually we say, just check your cyanuric acid level, and if the cyanuric acid level's gone too high, it's locked that chlorine, it's prevented it doing its job, and you really need to clean out your hot tub and get rid of that cyanuric acid. So that's why our 971044 photometer, one of the things it does is measure cyanuric acid for you, as it's quite an important parameter in pools and hot tubs. So thank you for that question, Paul. Okay, I don't want to keep people waiting while I wait for any more questions. If you do have any other questions, please email me at sales@hannainstruments.co.uk, and hopefully now you've got a better understanding of HSG282 and what you need to do to comply. And please get in touch with us if you want any further information, or if there's something I covered that you're not too sure about, just ask. We're happy to reply. So that's all from me. Thank you very much, and goodbye.